Am I audible? Can anyone just acknowledge me in the chat box, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just let me know as my screen visible to you all. Visible now, right? You guys can acknowledge in the chat box as well. It's visible. Okay, great, great, Amisha. Thank you. I hope so. There were no doubts in the last class, and you guys did your work assignment, whatever was given to you. That table sort of thing, right? Along with your personal portfolio. Okay, so we did tell. Okay, we did the input part, right? Okay, so I'm making it lecture 3. And with that, there are students waiting in the lobby. Please wait. Please admin let them in. Okay, okay. Let us wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. If students are waiting in the lobby, then we can start, right? Hope so. There were no doubts from the last session. Things were clear, right? And you tried your hands on it. I guess we can start. That is a good number, I guess. Okay, so we are starting, right? So today we'll be learning about media elements. Media elements. Okay, so basically what happens is whenever you visit a website, right, web page, basically whenever you visit a web page, just ignore my drawing. There are few things like there is a paragraph written, okay, blah 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 paragraph. There is a image over your web page. Let's assume we are having an image here. We have an article written on that. Okay, and explains that what that image stands for or what it exactly is. Sometimes you can also see that whenever you visit YouTube, so there is video. Sometimes you also encounter some audio files in your web page. So basically, image are considered part of images and these are media elements. These media elements, right? Now, it is for lecture 3. I'll media element. Excuse me, sir. Uh, yes. Sir, your
Sir,
voice is
I
great.
guess your voice is lagging.
Just a second. I'll just wait.
अच्छा 5 वीडियो देखना पड़ेगा सास में
Is it better now? Like, is my voice still breaking?
Sir,
It's okay,
your
right? Now
screen
it's
is
okay, right?
your screen is frozen right now.
My screen is frozen as in I am not moving while speaking, or my voice is audible, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, others
your
also
voice is
please
audible.
acknowledge they can be.
Sir,
Okay.
your video and audio is all fine, but the screen is frozen on the Meets
Okay,
tab.
because I've not shared the content yet. I stopped it because I was switching on different networks, right? So now is it visible? My screen is visible, right? Can you see this OneNote?
No, not yet, sir.
Uh, it is being shown that
No,
it
sir.
is shared.
No, OneNote is not visible, sir.
Just a second, just a second. Still showing some issues, right? Can you see the OneNote now? Audible. Hello.
So maybe you need to switch the tab.
I've already switched to tab multiple times. I don't know why you guys are not able to see. Let me just switch off my camera. Maybe that's why. Um, can you see the OneNote now?
No, sir.
Just a second. I'll share
Screen
it
is
again.
frozen.
I'll share it again. Still not visible? Still not
No,
visible? If
sir.
it's still not visible, OneNote.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Wait, let me just rejoin. Let me just rejoin. Give me a moment, please. Okay, okay. Now is it visible? Right. Now it is. I hope so. Now it is.
Yes, sir, it is now.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
we'll start it over again. So basically, media element. Let me just switch off my video here because net is again giving some BT, so it's better to be on the safer side. Yeah, cool. So media elements basically consist of three things. One is the audio stuff, other is the images, and third one is videos. Okay, cool. So I just gave you example. Let's assume we are having some web page. This is a web page over which we generally see that there is a paragraph kind of stuff written, paragraph or any content written. And let's assume there is an article on the left side. This is an article, and an image related to the article is also there. Cool. There are chances that videos can also be a part of your web pages, as well as audios are also part of your web pages, right? So let's see how we can add them in our pages. So I've made a lecture 3, and inside the lecture 3, there is a media element. I'm adding my index.html file there. So, right. How we can get the image, let us see. I'll write img and it will automatically give me suggestions. So after that, I'll just hit my enter button. So I have two things in front of me. One is the source and other is the alternate, right? If I go here, I'll see that I had an image tag, which consists of two attributes. One is the source, and other was the ALT, that is alternate. Let me just write again. source and alternate. Okay, cool. Let us see what source means and what alternate means. Inside my lecture 3 and my media elements, I'll make another folder where I'll be adding my media. Media is just a folder wherein I'll be adding my photos and my audio as well as my video, right? So I'm already having a photo video in my desktop, so I'll simply copy paste it. So this is the image. I'll teach it. I'll put it in my folder Nagarro in lecture 3. In my media elements, right? Similarly, I'll be adding my audio element. Oh, just a second. I need to copy paste it first. Right. So let us be back to our code, right? So I'm having a folder namely media, and inside my media, I can see there is an audio.mp3. Everyone knows that audio files are having MP3 extension. Doc.jpg, any random image with any extension which is possible for the images. Along with that, a video of MP4 extension. That is okay, right? So inside my lecture 3, I'm having a folder media elements. Inside media elements, I'm having one index.html. Along with that, I'm having media folder again, right? So the file structure is somewhat like this. Lecture 3. Inside lecture 3, I have a folder. Basically, I have one folder right now. That is media element. And inside this media element, I'm having one folder media element and one index.html. And inside media, I'm having three files: audio, video, and image. Also now the folder structure is clear to you, and now we'll see how we can get the source. Like inside the source, we give the path wherein we need our image to be embedded, right? My image is in my media element doc.jpg, and where is my media element? That is like inside the same directory of index wherein we are working. So what I'll do is I'll simply write media because index.html and media are in the same path. And inside media, like this was media, and if I enter or go inside media, that is one level below, then I have three options to put in. And since it is my image tag, I'll be adding my image thing here, image path here, that is doc.jpg. And what is this alternative? We'll just see in a moment, right? So if I'll run this, uh, just a second, I need to give width as well. Ignore this attribute right now. Right, you can see that I have a dog image inside my index.html. Okay, works fine. Now I'm still not aware that why this alternative tag is there and what is it used for. Let's assume I unintentionally gave a wrong path. That is, instead of writing dog, I gave it dog. So now I see that there is nothing shown over that over my console window, over my viewport. Sorry, really sorry, over my viewport. So how will other person or I will get to know that there is some image or there is some media element which is embedded over there? So when this source attribute does not work properly, then we need to give it an alternate tag so that if the media element is not working, so we'll get to know, okay, there was something which is not working right now because of some XYZ reasons. So that's why we give alternative of this is some random dog's image, right? And if I'll save and see my uh, viewport now, so it is showing me that yes, there is an image. If you can see an icon before this, this icon is basically for image. Okay, this shows okay there was some image, but because of some reasons we're not able to see the image, and now we have to do some alternative. So the alternative here is this is some random image. This works fine for you all. This is clear. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Can anyone acknowledge in the chat box as well? Right. It's better for me to see in the chat box because like two interactions sometimes distracts the flow, right? Okay, so cool. Thanks, Gaurav and Sarthak. That's pretty cool. Okay, I gave some path. I told about source is where your media element is present. Media element is present. Give path, right? Give path. Now I have written give path. There are two ways to give the paths. One is the relative way, and other is the absolute way. Right. First, absolute. Second, relative. Now, what is relative? If you can see in my uh, like in my the code window right now, inside my source, I have given it go to the media first, and then go one level down to it, go down to media, and then search for the file, namely dog.jpg, which is not there, right? But if we see this, then it is something related to our index.html, because this media is having the same directory as index.html, so that's why it is related to my index file or any other file for that matter. So this path is basically related path, right? This is my related path. And what is an absolute path? Absolute path is something which we directly fetch from either the internet, or we sometimes what we do is we keep the data inside our databases, and we basically upload it over the clouds, and we get the hyperlink from there, and we add it on here. So what we're gonna do is there is a very beautiful website, unsplash.com. From here you can access different images, or this is like very vast website. It's a never-ending website, not it like never-ending as in it's infinite scrollable website. That's also feature in web applications, right? That's a topic for some other discussion. So if I want an image, let's assume I want an image of web development. I'll search for web development, and I don't know why is it showing these things, but never mind. We are not concerned about the image. Let's assume I'm taking this left image over which I'm hovering. So I'll right click over it. I'll simply copy the image address. I'll simply copy the image address, and then I'll go for my img tag, and inside the source, I'll simply paste that copied link. I'll not do anything. I'll simply paste the copied link from wherein I got the image. I got the image from Unsplash. And again, the alternative is this is an Unsplash image, right? Alternative is this. Let us try to run this, right? I've saved this. Let's see what it'll show. So we can see that this dog's image was from our relative path, and this like C image with the ship over it is the image from our absolute path, right? From the absolute path. These two things are clear till now. Hope so. These things are clear. So um, let's move on to our next media element. Relative path is giving path from the folder structure. Path from folder structures. And absolute is directly copy pasting it directly. Copy pasting the link. That's right. Cool. Okay, so we just started about the img, that is image tag. Now we'll move on to our audio tag, right? Audio, basically everyone knows what's an audio. It's a simple audio file, and you get to hear from it, right? So, okay. The tag for the audio will be, I'll simply type AUD, and I'll get my automatic suggestion, audio, and I'll enter it over there. Again, it is showing me some source. Now you guys know that what is to be written inside the source. Okay. Either the relative path or the absolute path, that totally works. So I have my audio.mp3 inside it, right? I have audio file inside my media. So again, I'll go in my media element. And inside my media element, I'll be searching for different files. Now I got my audio.mp3. I'll simply give it a path audio.mp3. Let us see what it will show us now. Is it showing me any of the audio element? Like, can I see any other thing except these two images inside my viewport? The answer is no. Why is it? Why is it so? Like I have given the tag, I have given the source, and the source is also correct. The source is also correct, right? So here comes something which is important attribute inside my audio. Okay, that's cool. I've written audio. I gave it a source. Let's assume my source is media slash, I'm not sure, but it's audio.mp. Cool. I've given the source to it. But I need to add few more attributes in order to run it properly. The most important attribute for audio as well as for video element, I'll just talk about audio right now. The most important element for attribute for audio is to write controls. This controls is a Boolean element, is a Boolean attribute. Very sorry. It's a Boolean attribute. Either it is there or it is not. Since we are writing it, this means that yes, true, it is there. So if it is there, now it will show us, okay, I have my existence, I am present there. Now I'll be shown over the viewport. Okay, let's see how will it be shown. I'm writing an attribute name as controls, right? Simply I'll save it, and now I'll switch to my viewport. Now you can see there is an audio element with which is right now of standing on 0 seconds, and it is an overall length of 0.9 like 9 seconds, and we have different controls over it as well. I can mute it, I can unmute it, I can download it, I can change its playback speed. If I want to play it, I'll simply click, and hopefully you guys are able to hear the audio. So you guys were you guys able to hear the audio?
No.
You guys were not able to hear it? Okay, so I hope the functionality is clear. Why are we writing controls? But because without controls, we were not able to see anything over our viewport. So we need to tell them, right? Okay, some audio element is there. I want to see its controls. So I just write the word controls. Okay. So controls say basically it came over our viewport. Now, what if I want that my audio element directly starts working once I enter my browser window or once I enter my viewport? So I'll give it another attribute that is autoplay. I'll write it as autoplay. I'll save it and see. It automatically starts working. If you guys are not able to hear it, just check this timing function. It is going out there, right? So it automatically started once I switched my viewport. Okay, but I want this audio to just keep on repeating again and again. Like we have loops, right? So we'll ask him, okay, once your duration of entire audio gets over, just start it over again and continue this loop till I am present there. Okay, that's fine. So which attribute will I add? So the attribute here will be the loop. I'll save it. Now see, it's working. After 9 seconds, it will repeat its existence, right? It's on 7, 8, and it started again. Got it? And in order to stop this, I need to remove these attributes and save it again so that it does not bother me again and again, right? Is the audio element clear with you guys? Audio is clear, right?
Sir,
Yes, tell.
sir, why is it having the closing tag with audio?
Why is it having the
Closing tag, closing tag.
that's its functionality, right? Like I have not written this like elements are not written by me, na? Someone else has written the function, so he must have thought before it. Like what's your doubt? I'm not getting it. You want me to write something here, right? I'm writing audio, that thing. I'm not getting your point exactly.
सर मतलब उसके अंदर हमने ओपनिंग टैग डाला है, क्लोजिंग टैग डाला है.
Right.
जैसे इमेज ऐड की थी तो उसके अंदर सिर्फ हमने टैग मेंशन कर दिया था तो इमेज सोर्स ऐड हो गया था. तो इसके अंदर बीच के अंदर कुछ ऐड करने का कोई वे है क्या मतलब?
No. This is basically the functionality. This is how is it written. So basically, source is the way wherein you will be adding your content or like, for example, when we are in images, the source is responsible for the image. Again, relative and absolute path. So it's like it's not something based on the functionality. It is something pre-written, so we can't hamper or change the tags, right? So let's
Okay, sir.
learn
Okay.
this only. Cool. Uh, clear to so screen is lagging, sir. Is my screen still lagging? Oh yeah, many people are saying sir, image. Your image isn't visible with the absolute path. Yeah, see, I have given my absolute path. You just do one thing. Uh, go to Unsplash and take an image. Go to copy the image address and paste it. It'll be seen. No worries. Like even I have done it in front of you. It is pasting. Like if I'll go to Unsplash again, I'll copy some other image. Let's assume I'm copying this telescope image. I'll simply right click over it. I'll copy image address. And after copying the image address, what I'll do is I'll add one more image tag. Simply image tag is added. I've copied my source. I'll save it and I'll see in my window. See, it is showing me the image. Right. So it'll definitely show you. There must be some small mistake you be doing. So just see it out properly. Right. Okay. So the audio tag is clear. The media element is, sorry, the image element is clear. The few more attributes which we added were loop. Loop is for to play it continuously. To play it continuously. And one more was our autoplay, right? Autoplay. Autoplay was to automatically start without clicking on the button. This BTN stands for button, right? Okay. So hopefully things are clear and hopefully that's fine. Cool. Now let us move on to the third element. Yes. Tell.
So can we
Screen is still
insert
lagging.
text?
Can we?
Insert a text or a small image kind of thing in the audio. So when we click on that text or image, please and stuff, is it possible?
So basically, what will happen is you will be like you'll be doing the nesting of things, right? Let's assume I'll be creating a div and I'll be adding. Sorry, just a second. I'll be creating a div. I'll be adding it inside it. Now this audio and this video will be inside the div. Now you need to do the styling via the CSS. As per now, it is not feasible because styling part or adjusting things will basically be dependent on the CSS, which we'll start by today. So like this is how you will be closing inside a parent tag, inside a parent div, and whatever you want in it. So you just according to your usage, you will add things, and CSS will be responsible for things, right? Doing everything is possible. It's just depends on how and what all you know about it, right? Right now, just learn about okay, this is an image tag. This is how we use image. This is an audio tag. This is how we use audio. We are just learning about the markup right now. We're just learning about how the elements work, right? Clear? Cool. Okay, now we'll be like I'll switch back my things so that you guys don't get confused. Okay, now we'll be learning about video tag. Right, this was my audio tag. Video tag. Simply again, I'll write VID. I'll get automatic suggestions. I'll click on video. Again, this is a source in front of. I do a video MP4 in my media element, so I'll simply give the relative path inside the media. Go to my video.html or video.mp4. I'll save it. And now let us see. Let me remove the above file because it is occupying a huge space. I'll give it a width again. Width 200. Let's make it small. Right. Now I'm able to see this video. But why is it happening? Right. I'm able to see this video, but I have no controls over it. Like this video right now is acting just like an image, but I can't play it. I can't move it further. I can't change the like like the muting it, reducing the volume, like in the case we saw in the audio, right? Like we saw in the audio. So these were the possible options, right? But inside this video, right now I'm not getting any controls over my video. It is just portraying me just a simple image kind of stuff. So again, to get a control over things, we need to add the attribute controls, right? Now let us save and see. See, now we got the playing button, the duration, the sound, the full screen mode, as well as this download playback picture in picture. I don't know what picture in picture is. So now we are getting the controls over our video, right? So if I click over my video, so now it will start. I just clicked it once, so it went on single time. Now, again, I want to autoplay it. So I'll simply say autoplay. I'll enter it. I'm not clicked anywhere, but the video started automatically. And, again, if I want it to like move again and again, I'll simply add the attribute loop. It will automatically just rerun itself, right? 5, 6, and again it will rerun now. See. Right now we'll simply save it like this. So I'll be adding three views just for your preference, right? So that you guys can use it whenever you want. Okay, so this media element is clear, right? Media elements are clear, right? Image, relative, image, absolute, audio, as well as video, right? Things are clear.
Sir,
Yes,
is there any
yes.
particular sequence?
Keshav, your voice is
tag?
Keshav, your voice is like echoing again and again. Can you just try to unmute from one side?
Yeah, sorry sir. सर आई वाज आस्किंग कि ये टैग का जो सीक्वेंस है वो चेंज कर सकते हैं ना?
Tag sequence
as in कि attributes का sequence actually कि controls
like we can do it like loop here and autoplay here. Let me save it. So it is still working. You guys can see that it is working, and after 9 seconds it will repeat itself.
Okay, cool. Thank you, sir.
See, it automatically started working here, right? So the order of attribute does not matter at all. It's just about you write it once, so it will work, right? Cool. Now let's assume, right? I am going to coding blogs website, right? Codingblogs.com, right? Internet issues, no worries. This is basically my coding blogs website, right? Now I want my HTML page to to show this coding block website inside it. Like, is it possible for me? Is it possible for me? Just anyone can let me know about it. Is it possible? I want to embed some website over my HTML page. So is it possible for me to render some other website over my HTML?
Yes, we can use anchor tag.
Like anchor tag is which anchor tag won't help us in this. Like I want to show it in my web. Like I don't want to render it. Wait. I don't want to render it. Wait. Let me show you. Wait. I think you guys are getting it the wrong way.
We can use iframes.
Right, exactly. I got it. The one who said anchor tag, that person is also right, but I don't want to render it. The question is a little different. Embedding some other websites. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'll simply use a tag iframe. Iframe will give me an option of source. I copied this coding blocks website source and I'll simply paste it here. I want my frame border, like that's just a basically border over it is 2, and I want its width to be like, I want it to be small, so I don't want to like enhance its appearance. So I'll simply go there and I'll run it. Let's see. So now if you can see, my website is shown on my web page only. I don't have to click anywhere. I can show my entire website here, right? Now you got the point. The person, I'm not sure of the name, really sorry for that, who said that we'll go to anchor tag. Anchor tag will take us to that page, right? To that page or to that place. But I wanted to embed it inside my website only. Let's assume I'm changing the width from 300 to 500, and I'll be giving it some height as well. It's not a good practice, but just for the education purpose, I'm doing it right now. So you see, the height and width has increased. Now I can easily scroll up the website and see which all functionalities are there, right? So this iframe is one of the EDI elements, right? Iframe is also responsible, like for sharing of things or to, yeah, just a second, what happened? Like, cool. Yeah, iframe is also having a source wherein we can add the like some website or some other stuff which we want to render it over a website, right? So we can do it this way, iframe. It's important. So let's learn of it. Now, what if I want my some other HTML page? Let's assume inside this uh, media elements, I'm having one more page that is the index2.html. And inside 2.html, I have a content written. This is my other page. Let's see this now, right? I'll enclose it within the heading. I want to be it a little bit. I'll simply save it. And inside my iframe, I'm just commenting it out. Now what I'll do is, I'll go to my iframe again. I have source. Now where is my index.html present? Index.html is present inside my uh, like in the same directory as of index. Oh, sorry, index.toHTML is present inside my same directory of index.html. Okay, so let's see how will it happen. Again, I'm giving it a small width, or let's not give it. Let's see what happens. So now see, I can see that this is my another page. Let's see on this, right? So this another HTML page, which is present somewhere in my folder structure, is also possibly can be embedded over my index.html page, which is not the page which I am like rendering right now, right? Simply some other page, if I want to render over my working file over which I'm working right now, I'll simply add my iframe and give it a absolute, give it, sorry, the relative path. Cool. Iframe is clear to you guys? Why is it used and how we can use it properly? Also, if I like, I'm on YouTube, right? I am writing YouTube. And if I just search for again coding blocks in it, so I'm going to their page. Right now, I want to do what I want to do is I want to like share. I want to embed this like any of the YouTube video over my website. Like what I'll do is now let's assume I want to embed how she cracked Microsoft Word video. Right, I'll right click on this. I'll click on this first. Now I do have options to share. I don't know why it's not coming. Let us just wait for it. Right. So where is the sharing part? Just a second. I'll go full screen. Where is that sharing? Where does that share comes? I am not that much
Top
good
right.
with top
In
right.
full
This
screen.
thing in full screen. Just a
Top
second.
right corner in full screen.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Now let's assume I want to embed this YouTube video over my web page. Right now, I click on this share button. This share button will give me different options. Either share it in Facebook, share it in Google, or different more things. I click on more. Oh, sorry. I'm just over my incognito mode, right? That's why it is showing some differences. Wait, I'll just switch my tab again. I'll do it this way only. I'm opening my YouTube. I'll write coding blocks, and let's zoom. I'm embedding. I want to embed this video. I click on this. So now I have option to share. I click on share. Now I got different options now. WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, emails, and blah 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 blah. What I'm gonna do is I'll use the embed file. Now again, where is the embed file? That's this is a real. Okay, cool. It's taking time, but ultimately it will be worth it. Cool. Right. Now we have a YouTube video again in front of us. Now we'll click on the share button. We'll check out for different options. Now in the first option only, I am able to see that it is written embed. Right, it is written embed. I'll click on this embed button. Now it automatically gave me a source of code with iframe. You guys can see I automatically got a code from iframe. I'll simply copy paste the entire stuff. I'll copy here, and now what I'll do is I'll comment this stuff. I'll say adding YouTube video. I'll paste the entire iframe and I'll save it. Let's see what we can see inside it. Now we can see the entire image is shown over your viewport of that, like this YouTube video is shown over your viewport, right? And if I want to play it, I can play it here as well, right? I can play it here as well. Cool. So I hope now you got to know that how iframe works and what all things we can do with the iframe. Things are clear? Things are clear? Have I written about iframe? Right. We can embed different websites, right, and different HTML pages, or YouTube videos, and anything for that matter which gives us the access. We can embed all these things, right? We just saw all these things. Along with that, source wali cheese to know. And yeah, this is all for iframe. Shit. Again, I have to write. So YouTube, website, and some other HTML. We can embed all these things, or even more things, right? I hope so things are clear till now about these media elements, right? Uh, what if we add a random image source in iframe? Okay, so let's move on to the iframe again. I'm writing a random source, right? I'm writing media. Sorry, I'm writing media, and again then I write for doc.jpg. And let us see, will it work for the doc case? Yes, it is working for the doc case, right? It is showing me image, but I've not given it size or width, but it's an image over here. Okay. But if I give it a wrong path, giving it a wrong path. So now it directly shows me that we do not have access to these media elements. Like this media element does not exist over our, like the path over which we are given, right? Cool. Let's move on to our next topic, which is a very important topic. Like it is considered to be really important in form of getting information. So it is HTML semantics, right? So now I'm assuming that everyone got uh, about the above previous topics, and now we are learning about HTML semantics. So what does semantic means? See, basically semantic means something which is meaningful. Something which is meaningful. Now, what do you mean by meaningful? And what do you mean by HTML semantics? That is HTML meaningful. Okay. So basically, let's assume that we are working over a web page, or we are working, yeah, we are working over a web page, right? Am I still in the meeting? Uh, is my screen visible? Can anyone just let me know? Because I'm not able to see the red sign over my code. My code is visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Code is visible, right? Okay, so great. I thought it's not visible, so I had to say it again. Right, cool. I'm working over a web page. Like this is my web page. Now my web page will consist of some heading. Okay, cool. Now let's assume not heading. I'm working over a website. If I work on a website, I do have something in the header stuff. Okay, let's see its practical implementation. Let's go to Flipkart. Let's go to Flipkart. Right. So you can see the Flipkart in the top is having some search box, is having some like different option in front of us, like more is there, cart is there, become a seller is there, something is there inside over the top of the page, right? Which is like not scrolling, it is just over there and there, it is constant thing. And below that we have some content kind of thing, like we have different images. This is one photo, this is another photo, this is another photo, and some content is written below it. And if we move down to the to the end, we see that okay, there is some contact us about us, we need to of help, policy is there, social is there, like what all their Instagram handle, mail us, and different information are available there, right? So what does it signify? This is basically our header. Header as in this is my navigation bar. I can navigate from here to different places. I want to go from my charts. I can go from different things here. But I click over this image of kids lehenga choli is written, then I'll be redirected to the some single page only, or I'll be able to get the information of that single thing only, right? Right. The single domain that is of lehenga choli, right? Cool. So this this header of mine can render me to different places, right? So this is basically my navigator. This is my nav bar, navigator bar. So we do have different things over. Let's assume I'm having my home thing over here. I'm having my what we do over here, what we do over here, and I'm having my login here. This is basically my name bar, my header, my name bar, right? My name bar. This is basically my name bar. And then we saw there was some content written, like there was some image, and let's assume a big image, small image, small image, small image, small image, some content written over here, some content written over here as well about the products, right? So this was the basic layout which we just saw, right? So this basic layout is basically considered into the category of main content, right? This is my navigation bar. This is my main content. Now, wherein we saw that contact us and all these things, right? In the bottommost area, we see contact us, about us, careers, and different things, right? So this is basically my footer stuff. This is called footer, which is present inside the footer of the website. That's why it is called footer. And something which was present on the top of the website, it can also be considered as header, right? So header, basically, we were considering like inside a header, there was a navigation bar. So that's why I wrote nav. But header, main, and footer, these are basically the main categories under which my website can be categorized. So, okay, no worries. Now, what all things we do cover in like inside my semantics, right? Semantics में क्या क्या आता है, what all things are there. So simply I'll move on to HTML semantics MDN. Hope so everybody has tried and read from MDN till now. Right, I got options that what I want to see. I'll simply click here. So semantics. Semantic refers to the meaningful piece of code, right? I told you semantic means meaningful. So it basically means something which is related to things, right? Now semantics can like H1, if you want a heading, okay, this is my header. That's why that's H1 can be used for that content, or like everything meaningful should be written. Like, and why is it done so? Because when you use HTML semantics now, the search engine optimization of your website increases. The SEO of the website increases to a lot of extent, right? Just for knowledge purpose, let's assume you are very well, like you guys are able to make your web applications now. So after that, what you want to do is you want your website to be on the top. Like whenever you search some keywords regarding it, you want your website to be on the top, right? So for that matter, this SEO is very important. And like to improve the SEO, we have basically like two basic methods. One is we can use meta tags. Just ignore it right now. We use meta tags, and along with that, we make proper use of this HTML semantics, right? HTML semantics. That is, we do have a nav bar in our website. We do have heading tags in our website. We do have footer in our website. We do have header in our website. Like these are just for example, right now I'll let you know about them in detail. So these elements, presence of these elements really improve the SEO, search engine optimization of the website, and of course, when SEO is there, so like there's a high chance of your website being seen, right? So HTML semantics is basically here we can in that search engine optimization K. Liate is also very useful, and also for the screen readers, I told you about the strong tag, right? Like why the strong tag is there. It is for some important stuff. So when the screen reader will read for the, let's assume there is unfortunately some blind person who could not see the website, right? A blind person who could not see the website. So the screen readers read the website for him or her, and let them know, or by different voice pitches, they got to know, they get to know that okay, what's the emphasis of what thing, like what is the importance of what thing, right? So this we discussed earlier. So these are the two basic and very important essential factors which we need to know about semantics. So right, see, we get different semantic options here. One is the article, aside, fig caption, figure, footer, header, main. I told about these things, right? Some of them I told about you, told you about it. Name bar, section, time, right? Let's see one more inside my book. Okay, so let us make another file inside my lecture 3. Uh, Name of that file will be HTML semantics, right? HTML semantics. And again, I'll simply make my index.html file, index.html file, and I'm wallet. Right. Now, first semantic I'm writing at this is my HTML semantics page. Right. Let's save and run this. But let me just remove the unnecessary things first. Right. So, is anyone saying anything? Is anyone saying anything? Okay, so let's proceed again. So this is basically my first HTML semantic. Like we okay, so I unfortunately closed that up. Yeah, the first one we are learning about is let's assume header, right? So I'll be enclosing header tag. Okay, so header is having an opening and closing bracket. What I told you about the header, like the header is something which is present on the top of the website, and we had nav bar inside my header. So what I'm going to do is inside my header, I'll simply add one more attribute. Oh, sorry, really sorry. One more my HTML semantic, one more my tag. That is nav. I'll enter. Now I got the name bar. Now if I go for inside my name bar, I'll go for some unordered list, as well as like I'm having my home page. I'm having my products here. I'm having my login. Let's assume I'm having one more. I'm having my information. We can make anything that's totally up to us. That totally up to our design. Let us save and see this. So now you can see that if I just comment it out the H1, then this is something regarding my name bar only, but only matter is that it is not like designed right now, but it is like if I click, let's assume if I click on this, I'll be going to the home page. Let's make it little more better. I'll be adding it by anchor tags. Right. Anchor tag. And I'm writing here home and page and product and let's assume login, right? Let's see this now. So now we are having different anchor tags, like just we had in our name bar of Flipkart. So if I click on home, then it will render me to the home page. If I click on page, it will render me to the page. If I click on product, we have different areas to be rendered. Right now, I'm not having any of these things, so I've just simply gave it a reference of hash that is the same page only. So I can go on and check for different navigation and different links which are present in my name bar, right? So basically, this is the importance of HTML semantics, right? Okay, things which are to be mentioned over the head that is considered like on the top, like that needs to be on the top of the website. Just for like instance, our name bar, so that name bar is enclosed uh, inside my header. Like okay, so that totally depends on use case to use case, but this is just a basic example. Let's assume now I'm having like my header is over, my name bar stuff is over. Now, what I want to do, I want my main content. Like, okay, this is my main content. Inside my main content, I'll be showing some images, some content. Like, let's assume I'll be showing some paragraphs also here, and any random blah blah stuff. Right? Okay, so I'm inside my main. What I'll do is I'll okay, along with the same side I need to do it, right? We learned about header. Now we are writing about main, right? So inside the main, I can make a div. I can make a div and I can give it a paragraph. I can give it a img image as well as a paragraph. Now, since my image is present in the different folder, I'll go to my lecture 3. Inside my lecture 3, I'm having media elements. Inside the media elements, I'm having media, and inside the media, I'm having my doc image. I hope so this is not confusing for you guys, right? I hope so there is no confusion now. I can do this way as well, right? Just a second now. Just taking okay, so I can write some paragraph that is lorem 20. Any random gibberish content will be shown to us, and we can have different divs for it. Inside my main, I can have different divs. So let us see it here. Yeah, a very big size. I'm just reducing the size. Width is 150. Copying it, copying it, copying it here. Now let's see. Right. Now we can see that the main content of our website is shown somewhat like this. Image, we have text over there, we have image, text over there, just like the products which was shown, right? We can do this. Along with that, we have few more semantics, like we have a section here, right? You guys can see we have a section here. So what is basically the use of section, right? I told about header, told about nav. Now I told about I was talking about main. Now we'll study about section. So the purpose of section is basically right. This is basically the content which has to be inside the main. It has to be inside the main line, just like this name bar which was inside this header. This section will be inside this main. Now, this basically like signifies that something which is not like repeating, which is not signifies, which is not repeating, which is like unique kind of thing, which is not repeating, and with like used once, or we like use that shown once, or I would say like we do not have copies of it. We do not have much copies of it, right? We do not make copies of it. Like for example, if I again go to my Flipkart website, right? If I can go to my Flipkart website, then here you can see this above, like this Realme C30, this Moto G20. Let's assume this is a static page. This is not moving again and again. So this part is not repeating anywhere. But on the other hand, this image along with the content is repeating. This tab image along with the content is repeating. And the sunglasses image along with the content is repeating. These things are repeated, and these are coming continuously. But this advertisement of Realme C30, as well as the next which will be coming, right? This Moto G82, these are something which are not repeating. We are assuming this is only one slide. This is not moving again and again. We are assuming this is just one. So this is not repeating itself, right? So for not repeating things or for making it something little unique, and that should just be used once or shown once and should not be copied, is basically section. Section is used for this purpose. Like for example, if I am writing a code and I have written something inside the section and I have written some code. Like for example, I made a section tag, right? Section tag, and inside the section I'm writing a paragraph that hello, hi, I am a developer. Let's meet. I'm a developer. Let's meet. And along with that, I have my heading as well. Okay, we can meet soon. Along with that, I can have my image as well. Image me again. I'll go for the source. Uh, right. And I cannot just like the way I repeated this div, I repeated this div. It's not a good practice, or it's something which is considered to be a bad practice for the section to repeat things. Like we can have different section for different things, but we cannot repeat, right? So let us save and see. So again, this image is showing with the shoes. I'll write with that 300 and I'll save it. So okay, this is basically a section of mine. Hi, I'm a developer. Sorry, I am a developer. And okay, let's meet soon. And this is basically non-repetitive, right? Cool. You got the existence of section as well. Now I said I cannot repeat. Now what is there which I can use inside my main, which can be repeated? So for that, we have article. Where is article? Yeah, right. There is article. So we have article inside our main, like a good practice to write inside our main to repeat stuff. Like right now, I'm having a div, like I'm writing it inside a div, right? Like if I go again to the Flipkart website, so all these images along with the content as well as the offs and everything content written, these all are considered to be categorized under the article, right? It is a good practice to like uh, embed them or to include them inside the article. So if we talk about article, so it has like a repeating nature. We can repeat things using article, and we use it inside main के अंदर inside. So okay, let's make an article. Let's assume. Okay, let's assume I'm not having a section. I'm just having this H1. I'm learning about articles. And inside the section, I can make an article which will consist of a paragraph and an image about it, right? Image of again, I'm writing some random stuff like uh, image not available. I'm not giving any source because it takes time, right? So I have an article which is having image as well as paragraph. So I can have multiple articles here. Like inside my section, I can have multiple articles. I'll save it and I'll run it. So see, image not available, but where is the content? Oh, I've not written anything inside the paragraph. Lorem 10, and I'll copy this. Let's save and see again. So now you can see image not available along with that text, image not available along with the text. So this is the existence, or this is the usage of this article tag and as well as this section tag. Like see, we can repeat articles, but we are having articles inside our section, which is not a good practice to repeat it, right? I hope till here things are a little clear. Section, article. Right. I hope till here things are a little clear. Collection of one kind of, yeah, similarly, we can say the collection of one kind, right? Right, Vishesh. Things are clear till now? I hope so, things are clear, right? Okay, so let's move on to our few more semantics. The other semantics which we can see is like we can go for our article we told about it. We can go for figure, right? Okay, we were using figures again and again, right? So here, what I'm doing is I'm creating an image, and inside this image, I'm creating a paragraph, which is, I guess, not as that efficient if I go for a figure tag. right? I can use a figure tag, right? I'll write it down here. So the other semantic which I'm having is figure. There are many. I'm just giving example of few important stuff. Like we have figure tag. Inside this figure tag, we can add two things, right? We can add two things. Like we can add multiple things, but I'm considering we are having figure. So figure consists of image. So image along with the source. I'll write the source as well as this alt tag. And I have something, one more semantic, namely fig caption, right? Fig caption, right? And इसके अंदर I'll be writing my content part, right? I'll make you see this fig caption. Right, see, here it is my fig caption. The figure is here. This is my HTML semantic. Now I'm having fig caption as my HTML semantics. So figure is also my HTML semantic and figure caption is not also my HTML semantic. So let's see how we can use it. Let's assume I'm again like here. Yeah, we were having articles, right? Inside the article, I want my image to be there. So I'll give it a tag of figure, and inside figure, I'll be writing my image. The source is again dog, and the alternative is I'm writing any random stuff, blah blah blah. And beside, like below it, I'll be writing my fig caption, and inside this fig caption, I'm again writing any random comment, lorem 6, and pressing enter, right? So this fig caption, like this entire figure, can be copy pasted and copy and pasted inside this article. Copy and pasted inside this article. Right. Let us save and see this. So again, with issues, width is equal to 100. Cool. 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 And cool. Now see, you can see the figure is there. Along with that, the caption is below it, and it's looking a little cleaner, right? If I if I want to inspect it, I hope I told about inspect. So right click, click on the inspect. Now you get something like this, right? So I have my magnifying glass. This is my magnifying glass. I click on the magnifying glass. If I'll click over here, like let's assume right now we are clicking over this article. So when we click over this article now, so it is showing us that it is inside this section on the right side, right? If I hover on the section, you can see the entire space is being covered with a blue color. Let's scroll it now. Yeah, the entire space is covered with the blue color. If I go down, I'll hover on the H1. So it is showing me, okay, the head one is consisting of this much place, and it is having this value, right? And below that, articles are there, different articles are there. And inside this article, I'm having a figure. If I hover on the figure, that is almost looking same as that of uh, article only. And inside the figure, I'm having my image tag as well as my fig caption, right? If I hover on things, I can see that it is getting colored with a blue strip over it, right? Similarly, we can hover on, like this is my header over which we wrote the name bar, right? This is my header. And inside my header, if I click hover on the name, that is the name, it is showing the name on the viewport as well. See, in the viewport, see here, this is my HTML semantic see, this is my header. If I move on to the name bar, this is my name bar. If I click on the name bar, it is my unordered list. Inside the unordered list, it is my li, different li's, right? So this is how you can inspect and check out things like which all tags are there and how we can see things like this is home is rendering to what page, right? Hope so. Things are a bit clear and better. Now let us move to our another semantic, that is aside. Okay, so let us go to my semantic and I'll show you what aside basically is. Right. See, element represents a portion of documents whose content is only indirectly related to the document main content. Let's leave this. For example, uh, sorry. For example, you have a web page again. You have paragraph written, heading written. You have one big photo here. Now you want your content to be visible only in this right side, right? Let's do any other side, just only towards one side of it, right? Towards this side of it. So what I can do is now I'll use my aside tag to make my developer or to make myself aware. Okay, the content which is present inside my aside tag, that needs to be present inside this next to this photo, right? Next to this photo, this content which is present inside my tag will be present inside this uh, the content over next to my photo, right? Let's see it by an example. As you can see, this rough skinned new defense and whatever it is written, like this content is on the side of it, right? It's on one side, and the styling is because of it's a side tag. Inside the side tag, this content is written, and this content is same as that of as we can see in the image. The styling is coming because of CSS. If I remove the CSS, there's like nothing different behavior shown. Like it is just like a simple paragraph running. So the styling part, that is to make things visible like this and to make it look prettier, that will be done using CSS. But just for like semantics, just for meaningful stuff, just for using the semantics properly, we write it inside the side tag so that we get to know, okay, this is the content which needs to be displayed here, right? Again, telling you this CSS is responsible for the styling, HTML is not. So if I remove the CSS, it'll make me appear as if it is normal content, not anything rocket science, right? Cool. Now we'll add it over here as well. Let's assume there's an article and a site tag. Site tag. I'm just giving any random content. So basically, when I'll be doing my styling stuff, then after reading, okay, this is my site, I'll make it look prettier in such a way that it comes over the right side of my or left side of my wherever I want of my web page, right? Hope so the things are clear. This was basically my web page, right? Web page. This is my site. This is my paragraph. Things are clear till now. Will header at top by default? No, it is not by default. I've added it. See, this is something which I've added. If I'll comment it now, if I go to my document, then there is no header on the top. It's just simply my nav bar and my. Uh, also, you are not also okay. Okay, wait. You were asking about the header tag. Were you asking about the header tag or heading? H also stands for header, right? So heading, right? So header is basically defaulted for the top. It is a good practice to write header on the top. If you not write it, there won't be any issue. But I just told you about search engine optimization along with that meta tags and SEO improves if we use this HTML semantics, right? So this is basically the purpose of writing a good code. And let's assume I'm writing a code like this. I'm a developer. ये मेरी machine है. I'm writing a code. Blah 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 blah. Now I have a folder. जिसमें मैं लिख रहा हूँ, this is my code. If I'll send this to some other coder, like if I'm sending it to you, you are a developer as well. Now I'm asking you to bhai इसे style कर दो, just style this stuff. So what you'll do is you will double click this folder, you open, and now you'll see the content which are written inside it. So how will you get to know that how to style which thing and how to do what stuff? So you need a proper HTML semantic. You need proper like ways of knowing okay what to do with what stuff, right? So that is why अगर हमें designing stuff करना है, तो that is why we would use like that is also the purpose of using semantics and making a code neat and clean, right? ये है developer and this is you. Cool. Transferring my code. Also, things are pretty much clear, and the usage of all the stuff and all the semantic HTML tags as well as embedded elements, media elements, iframe, everything is clear by now, right? Things are clear? Like things are clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That everyone also acknowledges in the chat box so that I'll get to know that people are active, right? Chat box is a better option, right? So clear. Okay, so we'll be taking a break of 2 to 3 minutes, and because our HTML is ended, like this is all about our HTML. The HTML part is done. So congratulations, one of your milestone is done. So all you need to do is revise things and of course go to MDN and scratch every single thing out of it, read every single thing out of it, right? And like don't deep that much dig and don't try to learn things. Once you will have a hands-on and once you will start using things, right, they'll automatically get fixed up in your head. So just read it once, get a basic knowledge so that whenever it is required or whenever some operation needs to be done over your tags or over your different HTML parts, then you have a basic knowledge of it, right? For documentation. Right. So we'll have a break of 2 to 3 minutes, not more than that. Then we'll proceed with our very important stuff again, that is CSS part, right? CSS part, right? Okay. So we'll be joining back pretty soon. Till that time, if anyone wants to see the code, she can. So I hope everyone is back. Aage sare everyone is back. Just acknowledge in the chat box so that we can start again. Right. Cool.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Tell me.
Sir, I tried using the aside tag, but the paragraph was not coming on the right side.
Wait. I just told you about this thing, right? Again, see. Uh, yeah. Okay. So you can see here that the rough skinned new defend itself something, right? This is written inside this aside tag, right? You can see, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is because of this CSS. What I'll do is I'll remove this CSS. Now there is nothing written inside the CSS, right? Now only I'm having my HTML tag. And if I'll see the output window, then everything's looking normal to me and nothing is like moving towards the right side. And it is just like a simple paragraph, right? So the right side was coming because of this CSS. This we'll do when we learn CSS.
Okay, sir.
The main purpose of here is to know, like I'm a developer, I'll see your code and I'll see, okay, you have written a side tag, which means you want this content to be on some of your side. And what I'll do is then I'll operate the entire aside tag and switch it on to the left side, right side, or whatever needed, wherever I need. Right? The
Yes, sir.
styling will be because of the CSS. It is just a tag for significance and for search engine optimization and different stuff, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's switch on to our new topic, that is CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Also, I'm really sorry because my video is off because you all know that net is showing again some issues, and I know that's not a professional way, but uh, it's like it's okay if you are getting the knowledge properly, then hardly matters. So sorry for that. Okay, so CSS. What is CSS? Like we just created our HTML, right? We created the structure, or we could say we created the markup using HTML. Cool. Now I have a markup, like let's assume I have my section, I have my paragraph, I have my images, I have my content below my images, right? This is my viewport or my web page, right? So now I need to give styling, or I need to give the skin to my, like I told now, this HTML is a skeleton, right? I told that my HTML is a skeleton, just that is just a structure. Now this CSS is basically styling, or I would say this is basically the makeup. And according to the human body, this is the skin, or I would say the clothes, skin or clothes. Let's see this again with a basic diagram. I'll HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This way. Right. If I go on the images, then I can see this. Right? Uh, I can see this, right. HTML is the skeleton. I hope so. This is clear. CSS is the skin, and JavaScript is basically the brain. So yeah, we have done with the skeleton part. Now we need to do the makeup. Now we need to add the skin to our HTML, right? The CSS is basically, uh, I would say, this is the presentation layer, right? Presentation layer, or I would say it is like skin to HTML, skin to our HTML, right? Sounds good. Okay. So now how we do it? Like what are the possible ways to like write this CSS, right? So there are three possible ways to write CSS, right? Three possible ways. One is the inline way, other is the internal way, the third one is the external way, right? We have three ways to add CSS. Okay, sounds good, sounds clean. That one is our inline way to add CSS, right? Other is my internal way to add CSS, and the third is my external way to add CSS. Now, if we study about just the inline way, right? This inline word itself says that the styling part is to be run in the line itself, in line, right? So the inline itself, like it has to be there in the line itself. Okay, let's see how we can do it. So for that, just check it out once. Inline intellectual, three ways possible, and we are studying about inline. So I'll be making again a new folder for it. I'll be CSS basics. Sorry, I need to rename it. CSS basics, and inside the CSS basics, I'll be adding my text.html file. Along with that, be very careful whenever you are making this HTML file. So your file was index.html, right? With HTML extension. This name could be anything, but it was a good practice to go for index. But when we work with CSS files, then this can be any name. Let's assume this is our styling file. So I'm writing it as style, but the extension has to be .css. Be very sure of it that whenever you are working with CSS files, you need to make the files with CSS extension. And whenever you're making the HTML file, you need to make the file with HTML extensions, right? So keep in mind about this. Okay, so what I've done till now is I've added an index.html page wherein I'll be making my what is that skeleton. Let's assume I'm having my h1. I'm saying hello. We are learning CSS, and after that I'm writing like I'm considering. Let's do it with a good practice. I'm in my header. My header is consisting of a heading. Let's make it a little good for everyone so that through the existence ka pata chale, right? Now I'll be moving on to my main section. Inside the main section, I'm having my section tag. Inside the section tag, I'll be making a div. And inside, let's not make div. It will be very confusing for you guys. Let's make it an article. And inside the article, I'm having image as well as let's assume we are having a paragraph. I'm writing lorem 10 as my paragraph, and the source is like lecture 3, media elements, media, and blog photo. But this time I give it by myself, that is 200. And I cannot copy the section. The section has to be little unique, but I can copy this article stuff, right? What I'm going to do is I'll copy paste it 2-3 times. And inside my main only after the section, I'll be making an unordered list, which is having list items. Let's assume I'm having 4 list items. Okay, 4 list items that these are shown, and I'm making it as list 1. I'll copy it, making it list. I'll change the name. List 4, list 3. Sorry, list 3, list 2, and I'm also having an anchor tag with let's assume https://google.com, and I'm making it as visit Google. I'll be copy pasting it. Visit Facebook. Here I'll be visit Reddit, or yeah, we'll make it Reddit, right? Google.com, Facebook.com, or we'll make it Instagram also, right? It's quite famous. Instagram. I'll make it Instagram.com, Google.com. Now we'll do it Reddit.com. Right. So I've made this. Now let us run and see what is shown in our. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's remove one of the articles so that we can see that for one page only. Right. Now let's see. Okay, so I'm having a heading tag inside my header. Now having a section which is consisting of articles, and the article is having a paragraph as well as one image. Again, that is copy pasted, and now we are having an unordered list because the order is not there, and we are having list 1, list 2, list 3, list 4, and let's make it PR. I'm adding the break line tag. Just doing the basic structure thing. This we all have done before. We have not entered styling part yet. Okay, so now this is my basic skeleton and HTML. Now I'm doing my inline CSS. Now how this inline CSS works? Like let's assume I'm having one h1 tag. Inside the h1 tag, I'll use one attribute named as style, and I'll write things inside this style part. Okay, this is my h1 tag. Hello is my name, and this is my closing of h1 tag, right? Closing tag, and this is basically the style attribute for CSS. Now let us see how we can do it. Okay, we are moving to the heading. Inside the opening tag of the heading only, I'll write style. It gave me automatic suggestion. I'll press enter. Now inside this style, I can add different properties. For example, I want this black color to not look black, to look little reddish type. So right, I'll be writing one property here. I'll be writing color, and after that I'll be like, I'm given different options by this color. Right, color is our property, and what value do we want to give to the color? Let's assume I want to give red color. Red color, right? If I'll give red color, I'll simply save it, and now let's see what will happen. This entire heading got changed from black to red. Now, what we did is, let's see it here. Here we can have property, different properties with a semi, like with the colon, we give it a value, right? Again, if we just see the styling part, inside the style, like this is inline, I have a style attribute. With this style attribute, I have different properties. Properties can be many things, and I'll give a corresponding value to the property, and I'll be ending it with a semicolon, right? I'll be ending it with a semicolon. Now let's assume okay, I got to see, okay, I have this heading as my red color, but now I also want a background color to this heading. So I'll write another property, that is background color, and I'll be correspondingly giving it a value. Let's assume, why is it not background color? Green. Right. So I've given one more property, background color, and given it a value of green. Let's save and see this. Why background color is not shown? Just a second. There is some spelling mistake. Just a second. Right. This is the basically attribute, right? The background color is not written that way. It is separated with a colon. Initially, we gave color is equal to red, separated with a comma. Now we give background color, and this background color I want to be green so that it can be visible, right? I'll save it. Now let's see. I'm having a red heading along with a green background along the entire heading, because we know heading is a block element, and block element covers the entire space of your viewport. So this entire space is being covered, that is being covered by H1, is shown by green background now. And we can also have different properties, like I can add border. If I want border, so border has basically three values in it. This is a shorthand property. Ignore this shorthand word right now. We'll be learning more about it. Border, let's assume I want a border of 2 pixel, and I want a border of like solid border, solid that is without breaks, and I want a border of yellow color. Okay, I want a border of yellow color. Let's save and see. If you properly will, like, let's assume I'm increasing the width of it. I'm making it 5 pixel. Now you can betterly see the border of yellow color covering over your H1 heading, right? These things are clear. Like if I copy paste this stuff, here, right? So this is basically the property. This is the value of the property, separated by a semicolon, separated by a semicolon. Similarly, this is the property. This is the value, separated by semicolon. We can give infinite number of values, properties inside this style tag, right? Infinite number, but separated with a semicolon. This thing works clear for this. Like, this is clear to all. Screen is lagging. Is my screen still lagging? And just let me know again. The dash will come. Background color that I changed, right? I changed. See, background color is separated with a dash. screen still lagging? Can anyone just acknowledge me in the chat box? Yes, it is still lagging. Not lagging. Yes, a little bit. Yes, sir. Oh. So I need to be a little slow, right? Okay, I'll be a little slow. I'm on my OneNote. So basically, I gave you an example how we do things are till now, right? Things are clear, right? I hope so. There was lagging, but it was understandable. Things are clear, or I need to repeat it because of the lag. Just write clear if things are clear by now. Clear. Waiting for 2 or 3 more responses so that I can proceed. Okay, people are active. Okay, right. So I'll try to be a little slow because I know lagging is taking place. So okay. So this was about inline CSS. Now let's do one more practice for inline CSS. I'm writing a paragraph inside my main, writing lorem, right? Entering, and I'll copy paste this like multiple times. I have like let's assume having 7, 8 paragraphs, right? I'll save it and now I'll see, right? It is coming again and again and again, right? I can see it. Okay, now how will I give my inline styling? I'll basically be what's how can I select it again? Just a second now. Right. Okay. I'll basically be adding my inline styling. So how will I write it? I'll write an attribute style, and inside the style, I'll give it a color. Let's assume I'm giving it a color of blue color. Hardly matters whichever color you go for. I'm giving it a blue color. So I'll copy it from here. I'll paste, I'll paste, 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 paste.
Alt plus select.
Is anyone saying anything? Sorry.
Alt plus select.
Alt plus select. Okay, I'm new to this machine, right? So I was habitual of working with Windows. So no worries. Like this will show you the real struggle behind not using inline CSS. So I guess I was successful in showing you the struggle. Okay, so I'm saving it, and I'm saying okay, the entire paragraph, whichever paragraphs which I'm having right now, is like in blue color. Now, okay, now a designer in my office came to me and saying that this blue color is not looking good. Let's do it alternative. We'll make it blue and we'll make it orange. We'll make it blue and orange. So I was like, okay, I'll do it orange for the alternative parts, right? Let's assume I've done oranges here, right? Correct, right. So okay, so if we'll see that it's an alternate, then again that designer came, no, it is not also not looking good. So I'll be like, yeah, what is this? I'll just give me a design properly. So do you think it is the efficient way to style this individual paragraph by styling inlinely and giving it a style every time and changing all the paragraph if we need to change one paragraph? So the answer is no, right? So why we don't prefer inline CSS? Why we don't prefer inline CSS? Because of unnecessary heavy coding, unnecessary labor work, I would say, unnecessary labor work and changing things individually, changing things individually, right? So that's why we generally don't prefer inline. We can use it anytime we can use it, but it's not a good practice to design your web apps or your web page using inline CSS. Okay, it's okay. Like let's go for let's comment this stuff and let's move on to our next way of styling. That is we learned about inline, right? The next way of styling is internal styling. Okay, so how will this internal styling help us? Let us see. Okay, what we're going to do is now, since we use the style attribute only, so this internal styling will also help me by this style attribute. But this style attribute has to be added somewhere in my HTML, but not inside the line. Now, where do I need to add my style attribute? Like here, so I added inside my inline, right? But in order to do internal styling, like internal styling stuff, I'll go inside my head, below or wherever inside your head, just write style tag, and inside this style you can do whatever functionalities you want to perform. Okay, so if I move on to my HTML sub part, I'll again uh, make paragraphs, and I'll make paragraph Lauren 10. I'll make enter. I'll start copy pasting it again. Like I'll make it 5-7 this time. Right. I again started doing it. So now I want to style all my paragraphs at the same time with the same color. Now I'll go inside my style. I'll say that okay, तुम paragraph को उठाओ. That is, you select your paragraph tag. After that, selecting that paragraph tag, you do one thing. You give it a color. You give it a color of, let's assume I'm giving a color of aqua, any random color, and separate it with a colon. I'll save it. Now I'll see all the paragraphs which were present inside my web app are now turned into aqua color. All the paragraphs, irrespective whether it be over this lorem content or whether it be inside my article below the image, all the paragraphs being selected and given a color this. Okay, so now if I want to give one more property, I want that all my background color, sorry, all my paragraphs should have a font size, right? Font size is also one of the property. I want them to be 20 pixels, right? I want them to be 20 pixels. So if you can see that the size increased and all the paragraphs which are present with us within this web app is of font size 20 pixel. I'm saying that, okay, I'm not still satisfied, and I want to give it a background color as well. I want to give it a dark background so that I can see that color very easily. And I also want to give a border, right? I want to give a border. I want to give a border of 3 pixel. I'll say this time I'm giving a dotted border. Dotted is, which is not, it will be like separated with some small spaces in it. I'll show you. And I'll give it a gray color. Let's assume I'm doing it with gray. Let's do it with green color. Right? Green color. I'll save it. Then you see all my content is being, like all my paragraphs are being enclosed with a black border or with a black background along with the dotted border of green color with the color of the text to be, which color was it? Aqua, right? This is how we do internal styling. Let's assume I don't want to select paragraph now. I want to select my image, right? I want to select my image. I'm selecting my image this way. I selected my image. Now I want my image to be a little roundish. I don't want it to be square. So I'll give it a radius, border radius to be 50%, right? I'm giving it to be 50% border radius. I'll save it. If you'll see, now entire image is being like covered with a circle. Like if I reduce the size, let's assume if I give it 10 pixel, 10%, and it gives a edge, like curves towards the edges of the border, right? So these are the properties we'll definitely look forward to it. But just for example, right now, and I want all my lists, like LIs, to be having a background color of, let's assume, uh, antique white. I'll save it. So all my lists, right, these are enclosed with background color of antique white. So right, so these can be the possible ways. Like this is the internal way of styling, right? I'll copy paste this stuff. I'm copy pasting the entire head, right, so that it will be beneficial for you guys. I'm copy pasting it here, right? So how we do it? This style has to be inside this head tag. Inside this head tag, right? This has to be inside this head tag. Right, works fine. Okay. So now tell me, we know that disadvantage of inline that we need to go to different lines and change the things individually. Now, what is the disadvantage of using internal CSS? If we'll see, then all the paragraphs which were present in my web page, they ultimately turned out to be the same, right? But I just want that the paragraphs, the paragraphs which are just present here, like which are just present inside my main and not inside my article. They need to be colored, but the paragraph which is present inside my article, that should remain the same. That should not be hampered. But we cannot treat the paragraphs differently in case of internal CSS. It will select all the paragraphs which are inside your web page and give them the following properties, right? For that matter, because of this drawback क्या है इसका? What is the drawback? All the elements, for example, अगर मैं दूं तो para, वो being hampered, वो being selected and hampered with the property allotted. With the property written, right? That's okay. That's understandable. And but we want to differentiate things. We want to differentiate stuff, right? We want to differentiate different paragraphs present different places inside this image, and we want to differentiate stuff, right? So for that matter, to differentiate stuff and to give styling to individual, here comes the third way, that is external CSS. External CSS, right? We got about internal, we got about inline. Now we'll be working on external CSS. Now we'll see how. Yes.
Sir, if we provide ID to the paragraph and then write in
That
the
is about selectors, right? That is about selectors, which will come after we'll learn about external CSS, right? Yeah, you are right. You can do it that way as well. But right now, I haven't told about IDs and I haven't told about classes, about different combinators, right? Descendant combinators, blah blah blah. Just ignore the terms right now. So I haven't told about them. So we just know about three types of styling till now. That is inline, internal, and external. I told you about the drawbacks of inline. I told you about the drawbacks of internal. That's why we are switching forward to external, right? We can do it with IDs or classes. That's totally perfect. We'll do it later, but just for the knowledge purpose right now, we are doing it with external CSS so that we can know that why are we doing it. Is that clear?
yes, sir.
Oh, great. Okay, so here comes the third and the most used, या फिर best practiced way. Best practiced way. Cool. I'll draw stars over it so that you get to know that this is important and this is how you should do the styling. So, okay, I put it external. External CSS is something which says, okay, there is some file which is externally present. Externally present. Okay, and styling is done there where styling is done. Okay, so let's see how we do it. I just told you whenever we want to make CSS file, then that file has to be made with .css extension, right? I'm making a file, I can write any name, but this .css has to be there at any cost, right? I made a file, style.css, and inside my CSS basics, which is in the same directory of index.html, and I have an external resource, right? I have an external resource. I told, right, external CSS. Now I have an external resource. This style.css is my external resource. I need to attach this external resource to my index.html over which I want the changes to be happen, like the changes to be shown, the changes to be done. So what I'll do is I'll simply write LINK link. I'll press enter to the link. So it will give me a basic template that, okay, this relation is to style sheet, that I am adding my style sheet. And where is my style sheet present is the href, that is hyperlink reference. So this href stands, href will consist of the path where my external resource, that is my style.css external resource, is present, and this link tag will tell me, okay, this is in relation to my style sheet, and my style sheet is present in my href. So I'll write that it is present in style.css, right? Either I'll write what is that, including your external style sheet resource, right? Including your external style sheet resource, including till here, right? If you guys can see the comment, then it is pretty much shown that, okay, the style sheet is linked here. If I'll save it, then I can, like, it is very important. This step ko bhulna mat. It is like the most done mistake in the initial stages, like link karna. Link ke baad you get a relation. Relation is style sheet. This relation is not for your use. You can ignore it, but this href is very important. This href shows you that where your inside header, right? I'll just let it know where your style sheet is present. My style sheet is in the same directory. Same directory means dot slash, or I can ignore writing dot slash as well. It is not compulsory for me to write dot slash if it is in the same directory. I'll simply uh, write the name style.css, and I'll say okay. Now get my style sheet file from here, and this has to be done side. Right, this has to be done inside my head. Right, cool. Things work fine. Now what I'll do is the way I used to get styling in the inline internal, the similar way I'll do the styling in external. Right now I want just a second. Now, I'll remove the, like, I'll comment the inline CS, internal CSS, so that इससे effect ना पड़े. It should not hamper my main thing. And only one inline CSS is present. That is, it's okay. We have no issues. Now, if I'll see and check the page, it is showing me the same way, but we are ignoring this because of there is inline CSS for the heading part. Right now, I want my paragraphs to be colored, but the paragraphs which are present inside my like inside my article, that should not be hampered, right? So what how can I do it is, where is my style? Okay, yeah, sorry. So right now it will give the same output as that of inline. So we'll see, right? Right. It is giving me a color. Let's assume color of paragraph should be like, let's assume I'm giving it brown color. I'm giving it brown color. Right now, it won't be showing any difference, but it will tell you, okay, the style sheet has been attached and the brown color is easily available inside all the paragraphs. Right. Now, whatever I'm doing, you need to ignore it for this class, like for these 5-7 minutes, because I just want to make you see that, okay, we can do styling individually, right? So if you can see it from here, I'll do it that what I'll uh, enclose this inside a div, right? I'll simply enclose it inside a div. I'll enclose my paragraphs inside a div. Okay, right. Now what I'm doing is I'll go to my style sheet. I'll say paragraphs which are present inside my div, that only that should be given the color brown. If we'll see, then yes, the brown color is given only to the paragraphs, but not here, right? Just ignore whatever I have written. I'll explain everything in detail, but just because I wanted to show you guys that we can do it that way. And the second possible thing is, like, if you will just keep styling here, your style sheet here, then it'll like increase the size of your entire HTML, which will create it pretty messy, right? Right. So that's why we are using external CSS, right? Ignore this right now. Just ignore this. It was for reference, just to make you see this. And if I want to do it for the section part, right? I want this paragraph which is inside my article below my image has to be in the color of green, then I'll say that let's not do the color, let's do it a background color. I'll do it a background color. I'll do it a background color of whatever color it is. I don't know the name. Aquamarine. So now you can see the background color of only this paragraph is being changed. So this is how we can like this is external CSS, how we basically use external CSS and how we can use it. It works the same way as that of inline. We can also style it this way, but obviously we can't increase the size of our, like, let's assume this is just styling for 3 things and we are having 10,000 lines of code. I'll be just like copy pasting it like idiots. And if someone wants to see my code, initially he needs to go through the styling and then he'll go to the entire HTML content. So that's not a good practice, right? That's not a good practice. So the best practice to do is this external CSS. I'm giving a, let's assume I'm giving a section. So I'm giving a border of 2 pixel solid green, or I can say 2 pixel dotted green. Or section I'm giving a background color. I give it a neat background color of some light color. I'll say it light cyan. And I'm giving the color to the section, not giving the color to the section. I'm giving it a border radius. Sorry, not border radius of like I'm saying 10%. That's more than sufficient. I'm so sorry, wrong place to add. I'm adding 10%, and I'll say if I'll see, then yes, my section is being enclosed. I'll like see if you can see here, then yes, it is merging because of the image. This is not showing merge over this side, but yes, 10% it is getting curved at the end, right? So I just give any random styling towards my section, and this is how you can style an external CSS. Let's assume now I want my article to have a background color, some different to have a background color. Let's assume I'm having a background color of blue, violet, and see my different articles are being shown with different colors. And my background color is still there inside the section, which is being a little light, if you can see properly, right? Very sorry. Really sorry, right? So I hope. No, really sorry. I hope the difference is clear. And one more disadvantage here was like because HTML page size can be dramatically long, or we can say can get drastically huge because of inline CSS. So that's why the main purpose is this only. That's why we go for external CSS to make our code neat and to work efficiently. Right. Hope so. Things here are clear. The most important aspect with external CSS is to always link your style sheet with the same right path that I just showed you how to do it. Simply go to your index.html inside your head, add just type link. If I again remove this, see, I have styling done in my style.css, right? If I'll not attach my link file, then I won't be able to see any styling. But if I'll attach my external resource, that is my CSS file, link, enter, and style.css, it will automatically give me a suggestion. I'll press enter. So then I'll be able to see the changes which are done in my external CSS, right? Hope so the things are clear till here, right? Also, let's do 1 or 2 small styling so that it is like you guys can see it further. Okay, I want my paragraphs. I want all my paragraphs to get text transformed from lowercase to uppercase. I'll set uppercase. Now see, I just wanted all my paragraphs to be uppercase. I'll give the property text transform to uppercase. If I'll see the entire paragraphs which were present in my web page, they turned out to be capitalized. And if I want them not to be uppercase, just to be lowercase, then I can do it this way. They are lowercase. And if I want them like all my paragraphs to have an underline, right? I'll go for text decoration. I'll go for text decoration to be underlined, right? Underline. So here you can see all the paragraphs are getting underlined. If I want to change this property, underline, right? We have different options. We can have dash, we can have dotted, we can have double, we can have line through. Let's see line through. Line through will give a line between it. Like see, the paragraphs are written, but line is going through it. And yeah, hopefully this is pretty much clear to you guys, right? Line through, or we can change the text transform from lowercase to uppercase as I just told you in the above example. We can see it again. Like see, now this is capitalized and the text transformation is changed, right? Okay, so I hope for hopefully you guys got to know about the inline, internal, and external CSS, and which one is better, and why we are using different styling sheets, and how to. Main point is to link the style sheet. That is very essential, and I hopefully told you about linking the style sheet over your head like this way, right? So I guess things are clear. Anybody is having any sort of doubt? Like anybody, any doubts?
So,
Yes, yes.
so is there any specific position to add the link rel style sheet, or we can add anywhere in the head?
We can write anywhere in the head. There's no position of writing like the style sheet above title, below title. It has to be within this head tag only. Like the position will not matter. Just like the attribute, like the position of attribute does not matter in the case of like the media elements which we studied today, right? So in the same way, you can have the link style, like link attached anywhere in your head tag, but it has to be in the head only. Order won't hamper any of your styling thing, right? We can see to that as well. Okay, if I'll just move it a little further, if I'll move it on the top, I'll save it. Then also even after refreshing, all the changes which I made in my CSS, these are reflected in my viewport, and things are pretty clear, I guess, right? We are able to see all the changes that we made in the section, we made in the site tag, oh, sorry, not the site tag, we made the changes in the paragraph tag, text transformation, and the background color over the articles, right? Everything, every change has been reflected here, right? Clear?
Sir, I read some article regarding that, and it said that if it takes a little bit more time to use the CSS, then it already loads the HTML page, and then it would take a time to,
Right. I'll tell you about this. See, uh, although that is not a feasible, like not a visible change, like visible time, it is not a visible time. But by convention, it is written that whenever you go for inline CSS, right, the inline CSS gets the most, like the most faster allocation. Like if we go for inline CSS, that is a faster way than internal CSS, which is faster than the external CSS. Like this should not hamper any of your, this is like the time comparison. So this will never hamper any of page or any of the styling sheet. But yeah, of course, the article you read is correct. The inline is faster than the internal, and the external is faster. Oh, sorry, internal is faster than your external. This is the order of your time comparison. But again, there is no issues. The changes or the time difference between them is like next to negligible. It will never be shown to you. Like it will not do anything with your website. It will not make your website slow. So you can use any way, but it's preferably better to use for external sources, right? Here, right? The priority is inline, then internal, then external. Also, the priority. This is was about the time comparison, right? So let me show you an example. Like which style sheet will take the property. If I'll talk about internal, if I'll write all the properties, internal property, inline property, as well as external property, right? Now let's see if I'm giving my H1 my inline property of color red, right? It's written there. Along with that, I'll be giving the inline internal styling to my header one. I'm just commenting this thing. I'm giving my internal styling to my header one, right? It's header one, right? I'm giving it a color of, let's assume, giving it a color of green. Inside my inline, the color is red. Inside my internal, my color is green. And if I go with my style sheet, and I'm commenting this again. I hope so you guys can see when I push the code. I am again encountering my H1 in my style.css. And here I'll be giving it a color of, let's assume I'm giving a color of aqua. Doesn't matter, any color we can give. Let's save and let's see the changes which are there. See, only the heading is getting red color right now because of this inline CSS, right? if you see the index.html, the inline CSS, the color is red, cool, the color is red, and the color which is coming over the viewport over our website, web page, that is red only. This means that the preference of inline CSS is little more, or I would say the priority of this inline CSS is little more than internal and external, right? Okay. Now let's compare internal and external. How we can compare it? We can compare it by removing this inline CSS from my header tab. Now I just have the background color. I don't have the color of this H1. If I'll like I gave it a green color, let's change the color from green to blue. It is not showing because of the green background only. I'm changing the color from green to blue. Hardly matters. So you can see now the internal CSS is given more preference than your external CSS, right? This internal CSS, which I wrote over my style within my head, is given more preference in comparison to my external CSS, right? You can see, right? And if I'll comment this up, then of course it will opt for my external CSS and automatically it opted for cyan color and it is showing me the CSS, right? So if we go for the priority order of them, that is also the same as the time order, right? Inline CSS is having a more preference than internal CSS, which is having a little more preference than external CSS. I hope so things are a bit more clearer and you guys have a little more knowledge of it, right? This is the priority graph, priority of sheets, or I would say styling. Things are clear. This is important. Just keep this in mind always, because this was meant to be taught when we study selectors, because when ID and classes do come, then we need to show the comparison amongst them all. But it's okay, we can discuss it at that time as well. But amongst the comparison of internal, inline, and external, you guys can easily see which one is given more priority, right? Things are clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so great. Anybody having any sort of doubt with the content which we delivered today, like internal CSS, AI elements, along with that HTML semantics, and different ways how we go for it, how we do inline, how we do internal, why we switch from inline to internal, why we switch from internal to external, like anything? I hope the things are clear to you all, right? Things are clear, right? And I guess most of you are having this access to my OneNote as well as my GitHub ID you must be having. So I'll push the code of today's class, and I guess we are having class in the evening as well. So we'll be doing some practical stuff there, right? Okay, so everyone is saying yes, yes, clear. So that's pretty good. Ajit, Kushagra, Sneha, Simran, Gaurav. Okay, like everyone is saying clear, so it must be clear at that time, right? So guys, do practice till that time. We are having class in the evening as well. I hope so that mails are given to you guys, right? So we are winding up till here right now. We'll study a bit more about these things in the evening class, right? Okay, so thank you so much for joining, and if you have any sort of doubt, that we can discuss in the evening class, right? Okay, so I'm taking a leave, and I'll push the